G'day guys, Targs here. Basically, I've done a video before. I've actually done a few today to try and sort this issue out. But hopefully we'll be all good going forward. And just going to move my OBS to my other screen, to my third screen, and make it a little bit easier to see what's going on, and monitor, make it easier for me to monitor, make sure that audio is still working and stuff like that. And sorry about the video I did the other day where I had no audio going and spread it around all over the place thinking I'll get out there and solve a whole bunch of people a lot of problems. And yeah, I didn't do a very good job of that, did I? So anyway, what I want to cover today is issues with the PNVS since that crept in during the last patch. It happened to some people, not all people. I was one of those people that were affected by it. So you might be going, what problem with the PNVS? I'm going to show you when I get in there of what it actually is. And I'm also going to show you the setting for it. I'll need to show you the setting for it first. I'll just quickly hit the setting for it first so you know what I'm going to be talking about, and then I'll show you the actual effect that it's going to have on your game and the effect that it'll have once you turn it off. So I'm going to just switch across to my DCS. So it should pop up there any second. Better pop up there any second. There we go. Some reason it takes a little while for OBS to switch across. Righto, so we're going to the settings. We go to the miscellaneous tab. And the one that I'm talking about is this particular one here where the mouse is. You'll see there. Head movement by Gforeces in cockpit. So I'm going to turn that on, and you'll see what's going on, and you'll understand where the issue is. So I'm just going to go into a quick instant action. I'm going to use Afghanistan. I'm going to use the free flight mission because free flight is starts in the air. It starts a hot aircraft, and it is able to show exactly what it is that is an issue. And I haven't got my headset on or my head tracking, so there's no way that anything can be affected by the track IR or anything like that. It won't take long for this to actually get into DCS, a relatively quick computer, and it's a fresh boot from a clean start on my computer. Right, so I'm just going to quickly get in there, and then I'll turn on the PNVS. I'm going to bring up the control thing there, and I'm just going to level out, right, and I'll bring myself to my normal viewing level there that I normally work with. And righto, so I'm just going to make this overdriven so you can really see what I'm talking about and get some shadows in there as well. Right, so just flying along now. As you'll notice, I haven't done an alignment of the headpiece or anything of the PNVS or anything like that. And looking out at the things, I mean, I use my mouse, my keyboard to move around. Everything seems to be overlaid. The PNVS seems to be overlaid relatively well, considering I haven't done an alignment of the IHADs. But when I'll get some speed, right, just so as I can do some nice tight banking. Okay, so we're going to do some tight banking, and as I bank over, see how my head tilts a little bit and it throws the alignment of the PNVS out in relation to the ground terrain. And the same thing if I go the other way, you'll notice my head now looks like I'm tilting to the right and the PNVS is no longer in alignment. But if I go back level, where my head is going to align with the aircraft and be at the 9 line of the aircraft, so to speak, you'll see that, considering the fact that I haven't done any alignment, it's not terrible. Okay, so we've got a little bit of hill over the back that's showing up. If I just turn it down so it turns off and then creep it back in, you'll see that that hill line is still there. All right, so we'll just jump out and quickly go back and change the setting. All right, so we'll go out of there, we'll go back up into the options, and we'll turn the head movement G-force in cockpit off, so it's unchecked. And somehow that got turned on in some people, including myself's DCS, during the update. All right, so we're going straight back into the same instant action. And as soon as I get in there, I'll turn the PNVS back on again and tweak it a little bit to make it, you know, not quite what I would fly with if I was playing the game, but it'll show up the hills very well. Okay, so in we go, turn on the PNVS, and I'll just overdrive it a little bit. Right, now, because I've got that setting turned off, we'll just get a bit more speed. I'll do a quick...
Fixed wing, 8 o'clock, searching.
Trim reset. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and do some banked corners. Now, you notice that first thing you'll notice is that it's overlaid, and considering I haven't even bothered with doing an alignment, it's pretty well staying where it should be. So you'll notice this. Now the image in the PNVS is aligned with the aircraft because the head of the pilot is now aligned with the aircraft, and you wouldn't be tilting your head left and right in the helicopter as you're going around corner, because gravity says that you wouldn't. You would only tilt your head left or right as if you had a side shift going on, or something like that. And it's just unrealistic the way that the Gforeces affect the pilot in DCS. Okay, so that's the first one that I wanted to sort of talk about. Now I'm going to show you another setting that is also causes a lot of problems. Some people notice, get it. Now, if you don't own this one here for your force feedback, if you don't own a force feedback joystick, make sure you come in here into the miscellaneous section and turn off the force feedback. When I got the Kiowa, the first thing I did was jump in there and went to trim it, and I was like, what's going on? It's not working very well. It's going all over the place. So then I've read that it's got to do with the force feedback, because force feedback doesn't affect pretty much any other aircraft barring helicopters. And I don't remember it being an issue with the Apache, but it certainly is with the Kiowa, for the Kiowa Warrior, the OH-58. So make sure that you untick the force feedback and you should be good. Also, it's probably a good move. Some people like to synchronize their controls, but it's probably a good move to untick this synchronized cockpit controls with HOTAS at mission start. That might be really, really good idea and sort of make it look, you know, oh yeah, that's great. That's exactly where my controls are. Excuse me. The big problem with that is that say for instance you get shot down and you quickly want to get back in there and serve out a little bit of what's the word for it, retaliation on the aircraft or the person or whoever it is that shot you down, and you want to get them back. And you've just jumped in. The minute you jump in and spawn in, say you spawn into a hot aircraft, your airplane is going to start shooting across the carrier deck or across the apron, possibly into the runway. If you're in an F-16 or something like that, or an FC-3 plane or something, or a warbird, and you run off the runway, you're going to get into the grass, and you're probably not going to be able to get back off. Some of them if you persevere with it, you can get off the grass and back onto the taxiways, but you generally find yourself having to respawn. So that's another one. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is I'll just go across here and I'll set it up. I'll go across to there and I'll get this in there so that it's nice and come on. Now, as you can see, well, you can't see, but it's taken me a while to get out of DCS. My DCS is a little bit long, and that's what I wanted to touch on, is contributing factors to that. So, it's a bit annoying that it takes a long time. Now, what it's actually doing is it's shutting down all of the shaders and all the rest of it, and, getting everything sorted. So I'm just going to pop over to the desktop. So hopefully my audio is still working. I'll get rid of my face. And right, so we're into the launcher. Everybody loves the new launcher. I like the new launcher because it means that I can do stuff in DCS without actually needing to be in DCS. So we want to go across to the files section. And whilst obviously there's a little bit of congestion on the DCS servers, which sometimes is, so these little radar things running backwards and forwards, it could be my internet might be pretty crappy. They mean that you're not being able to contact the DCS authorization server. So you just basically have to wait until that actually happens. So you can, apart from other things, you can do your updates here, check for updates. You can do a build repair, but the big thing is you can do a cleanup. And you can clean up your files. Now, you can just go all and then do cleanup, and it won't take very long. But I don't do that because I like to keep my tracks, and also like to keep my screenshots. Okay, so then you'll see here that there's 2.5 megabytes. Now that's after maybe 1 or 2 boots into DCS. As you realize, I've been going in and out a bit, and 2.5 megabytes is not very much to worry about. That doesn't take that long. But say, for instance, you've been going a month, maybe since the last update, and you haven't done cleared the shaders. You really need to clear shaders. Prior to doing all these videos, I had 125 megabytes of shaders. Not a great deal in the grand scheme of things, but I only did them a week before. So hit the cleanup button. It doesn't take very long. As you see there, it wasn't very big, and it's cleared up my shaders, and it's also removed my log files. So my log files issue, the size of my log files is gone. The big thing with that is that it's going to reduce your boot times into the game, and it's also going to reduce the chances of video graphical glitches, and it will reduce the length of time exiting the game. Yes, the first time that you load into a map after clearing your shaders, it's going to take longer to load into the map, because as you're going into it, the system has to build all of those shaders that you delete again. But the difference is it's doing a fresh lot of shaders if you've changed your video card driver, or you've updated DCS and they've changed something in, say, Syria map or Sinai map or something like that. Yeah, they've rebuilt it. Quite often the shaders are changed, so you'll end up having an extra set of shaders, because it'll build new ones. It won't write over the same of them. They always name them individually, so it's and it doesn't overwrite them. All it does is it goes in and says, is that shader there? Yes, it is. Load it. If it can't find it, it builds it. And so you can end up with multiple gigabytes of shaders if you just leave them go and leave them go and leave them go. So anyway, I don't want to make the video too long. It's probably getting a little bit long in the tooth now, so I'm going to stop the video, and I will, put in some timestamps and stuff like that, so you'll be able to get around. And thanks for watching if you made it this far. And if you did, and you think that the information I passed just there was valuable to you at all, give us a like. Helps my channel. I'm only just starting to get into it. I'm learning. And if you've got any helpful comments, I know I probably talk too much, and mainly because I'm a little bit nervous and I'm not running off a script. Maybe I should write a script. Do you think I should write a script and try and stick to it? Give me